Hey, everybody. This week on Up Your Alley, we've got a great show for you. Two great recommendations. First, Jake recommended that I play the board card game Wingspan, and I recommended that Jake watch the new Apple original movie, The Gorge. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about Monolith Studios. We're going to talk about the Oscars, which are coming out on Sunday. And what else are we talking about, Jake?
Yakuza.
Jake's playing Yakuza. Yeah, we'll get into it. Yeah, we're in it. How you doing, buddy?
I'm great.
This is our last week of recording at Jake's house before he's fully healed up from his surgery.
Yep.
That's fantastic. Oh, welcome to the show, everybody. My name is Taylor, and with me, as always, is my best friend, Jake Backus. Say hi, Jake.
Hey, buddy.
It's a show where we recommend things to each other, and we come back the next week to rate them on a scale of 1 to 3 based on how much it is up our individual alleys. Like I said up top, I made Jake watch the new movie, The Gorge, starring Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy, and pretty much no one else. And
was it in theaters?
No, it was Apple Original.
Okay.
Yeah, that was one of their money laundering schemes.
I got it. I solved it. They just need to Apple theaters.
Oh, we'll get there. Yeah, that's eventually a point. And Jake had me play the very cutesy card game Wingspan, which we got to play online a little bit. But other than that, how you been doing, bud?
No complaints here.
I can see on PlayStation all the time you are playing your new Yakuza,
yes,
your
sir.
game that you love, and I've tried to get into, and I can't. And you don't hold that against me, which I appreciate.
Everybody should play it.
No, I can't get into that style of game, but you know, it's what it is.
It's not your style, that's for sure.
For sure, not
But
my style.
I've been
Got a lot of not my style things coming up this week.
I've been kicking its ass. Right now, I'm trying to find a couple of ladies for my shipmate because he wants to date.
It's shocker that someone that plays Yakuza is looking for a couple ladies.
Well, he's looking for I think it's called a Minato lady, a Minato girl,
Like a Minotaur?
almost like a Minotaur.
Oh, your
but he wants somebody.
top half's a head?
He
or
wants
a toe?
He wants a very elegant woman.
Huh.
And
Is that like a Japanese term?
And I guess so. I don't know. It's like a province or something where they like teach women how to be proper or something.
Sure.
I don't really pay attention to too much what they're saying, but now I'm going across Honolulu being like, that girl's probably interested in him. So I'm going to gather them up, and we're going to have a big party, and we're going to find out which one will work for Masaru.
These games are so friggin'
So fantastic.
Is this a sequel to the last one?
It's a spinoff.
From Hawaii?
Yes. It's a spinoff. It's
the
about
sequel
another
to
character.
Yakuza Goes Bananas.
Yakuza Goes Bananas?
Yeah.
Because there's bananas
No, because
Hawaii?
it goes Hawaiian, and it's just one of those crazy sequels.
Oh, no, it's not that
Yeah.
crazy. It's really good.
Dude, I've seen clips of that game. It looks pretty crazy.
They've always been crazy.
I know, but it's just absurd. But now
This
they're
one's by
pirates.
far the craziest because
It's not a period piece, though. It's
no,
like you're
what
just
they're
a
doing
pirate.
Is there's a island called Madlantis where a bunch of criminals come by.
Say it again?
Madlantis.
Like Atlantis, but it's Atlantis?
Madlantis. Yeah.
That sounds like a horrible rap album from like 2002.
It is such a pushy portmanteau.
Yeah. It's like, we out in Madlantis right now. It's a bar that sounds horrible. Everything's wet and everyone sucks.
Madlantis.
Yeah.
But
I met this girl at Madlantis. She's terrible. She's not one of those Minotaurs.
Everybody is trying to be a good pirate, like being the best pirate, you know. So everybody dresses the part. They have pirate ships and stuff, and that's how they do crime right now.
Like full on like galleons,
style.
like
Yes.
sailboats.
Yeah, there's pirate ship battles in this game. It's very silly.
Like Assassin's Creed?
Yeah, not as good as Assassin's Creed. The whole time that I'm doing
Assassin's
the pirate
Creed.
battles, I'm like, man, Assassin's Creed really did good pirate battles.
There's a rumor of the remake coming out. That Ubisoft's finally making the Assassin's Creed 4 remake.
I won't touch it.
I'll play it. I liked Assassin's Creed 4.
I'm
Did you hear
tired
about
of
the news
Ubisoft
for
as a company?
Assassin's Creed Shadows?
It's delayed.
No, it was delayed, and then it was delayed to February, and now it's delayed to March 20th. But there are copies of it for sale online.
Yeah?
Like it leaked somewhere. So people are like, what? I forget the guy's name. He's a streamer that does. I've completely blanking on his name right now.
PewDiePie.
No, it's not PewDiePie. This guy's not a Nazi as far as I know. But he does like just good game reviews, and he got called to the Ubisoft studios to play Assassin's Creed Shadows, like the first hour or two of it. Like they gave him some time of gameplay so he could do a first round review.
Yeah.
And he watched the videos of people like and it's not like the game leaked, like a file of it leaked. Hard copies are for sale on the internet.
Yeah.
like PS5 copies, and he watches videos online of people like opening it up, booting it up, and going through the menu. He's like, "Oh no, this isn't fake. I've played the real game. These people have the real game."
Why?
And it's out on March 20th now. So that leads me to believe, one, the game's finished. Obviously, it's not delayed. Like they're still working on it. If there are physical copies printed,
Yeah.
and like people that have worked retail know, like they get these games weeks ahead of time. It usually just comes in a big box, says "Do not open" with the tamper-proof tape. But some pothead's always going to steal from any retail store he works
It's got to
at
be a pothead.
because they have lowered inhibitions and they want to play Assassin's Creed.
You got such a 1940s idea.
These reefers out here stealing their video
for
games.
more weed.
Dopers. But you know what I mean. Someone with...
You always think that somebody's stealing from it.
Yeah. It's a big box store. Well, here's the deal. Someone's stealing from every place. It's just a matter of what you want to
speak
steal.
the proper language.
So regardless, at this point, why don't you just release the game? Like, there's digital copies out there.
Yeah,
Like, it's out there. Like, let's just put it out.
Why was it delayed?
They didn't say.
That's all I'm
like,
saying.
I was thinking it was delayed, like they were still working on it, but there are physical copies of it out there. I guess they're still working on patches that hopefully they can do like a day one patch.
I mean, that's inevitable what they were going to do.
Yeah.
You know.
So maybe that's what the issue is. They haven't finished
What was in the game when they
That was crappy?
released it. That they were like, we still need to change something before you could play it.
Yeah.
You know.
I don't know.
Because it's been on disc forever, but now
I
they're
would-
just like, yeah, let's do a day one patch.
I would love a good Assassin's Creed game.
I don't care for
Like,
it anymore.
replaying Ghost of Tsushima, like it made me want to play a good Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm like, if that game's really fun, like the stealthier missions. I just did the mission in a Ghost of Tsushima where you poison the Mongols and then your uncle yells at you.
Yeah.
I'm like, God damn it, this game rules. I cannot wait for the next game in this series.
Today's going to be fun.
But yeah, it's a bummer that they're just not releasing it. And speaking of video game studios doing bummer things, Jake, you got an update on Monolith Studios.
You don't even know Monolith Studios.
No,
as you told
okay.
me.
So Monolith did not Gears of War.
No.
Shadow of War.
Yeah.
And Shadow of Mordor.
Yeah, those are some of the big ones. They also did Fear. Do you remember that? when
I
we were
remember it.
kids?
Never played it.
That's a really good game.
I remember seeing the case. It's like two people. And it's like yellow and black. The cover.
No, I don't think so. I think you're thinking of Haze.
I don't think so.
I don't think you're thinking.
Keep
of
talking.
Haze.
I'm going to look it up. I'm going to see.
So they also made Blood, which is one of their first games. That was built off the Build engine, same thing that Duke Nukem 3D was made off of.
Okay.
They also made No One Lives Forever, if you remember that game.
No.
That game was very big for me when I was in my childhood, but they've been closed down. WB
Yeah,
closed them down.
Another line of consolidation
Yep.
for
They even
the
had
Warner Brothers.
Like Warner Brothers even got the patent off of their Nemesis system that they developed.
Which is the big thing. So that was developed. Was that developed for Shadow of War and Shadow of
Yes.
Mordor?
Yes.
So the Nemesis system, for people that don't know, is in the Shadow of Mordor game. You're playing as a ranger with the ghost of Celebrimbor inside of you,
Yes.
and there are orcs, and they have like leader orcs or anything. And if you die in the game, similar to like a roguelike mechanic, the orc that kills you gets stronger and he gets
Yeah.
promoted.
He gets famous, so now he gets
Right.
promoted.
In the way that, like, if you kill him, like, they'll know the way you attacked last time. You're like, oh, he got all my guy with arrows. So then they have other archers at their next fortress looking for you to do that shit.
Yep.
Amazing way to progress through a game.
And
I
also there's other captains fight other captains.
think,
And you
there's
can
like a whole
go into
political
there.
intrigue system. of
Sometimes
the
you're just
orcs.
wandering around the map, and one of them will see you, and they'll be like, Ranger,
Yeah.
I'm here to kill you.
Yeah.
And then you cut off a guy's head sometimes, and he comes back with a bag on his head. And
Yeah.
He's like, ha ha ha, you thought you killed me, but you didn't.
And one of them was Kumail Nanjiani for some reason.
Oh, for real?
Yeah, I think it was at the second one. One of us was like Kumail Nanjiani, not doing an orc voice, just sounding like Kumail Nanjiani.
That nasally dude.
Yeah, just a nasally nerd of an orc. It was kind of fun. But so that system was dope, and it was proprietary.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then they patented it, which is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Because that would have been fun to iterate on.
I think
for
there's
everybody.
so many like cool ideas you could run with that system of,
Yeah.
you know,
Imagine that in like a Grand Theft Auto game.
or like a Mr. and Mrs. Smith style, or like Spy vs. Spy, where you're like, oh, there's another assassin, and you're trying to get the hit before them, and
Yeah,
you just have like a
sure.
rival like that.
That sounds fun to me.
Fucking James Bond game where there's a Russian spy going after you, or a 006 situation. But yeah, and then so they patented the Nemesis system and then closed the studio. So now it's behind a patent wall until 2036.
Yeah.
No one's able to use that technology for 11 years because WB just sucks at
It just sucks all around.
They suck at making stuff, but I guess they're really good at taxes.
Monolith was also going to make... They're good at making money, it looks like.
They're good at making money look like they're making money on paper.
Yeah.
Because the whole thing we talked about last year with that Looney Tunes movie that they completely disemboweled and refused to release. They had a Batgirl movie that was shot and made.
Yeah. A Wonder Woman game that's now not coming out.
Yeah, I read about that too.
From Monolith.
Which people had early hands-on stuff, and they said it's really good.
Yeah.
It's a bummer.
That would have been fun. I would have been fine with it.
Yeah.
They do a good job with superhero games. The Batman games are fantastic.
But the last one they put out was Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which sucked.
I don't know. I think everybody's being really mean to it.
Yeah. Well, you're coming off the legacy of the Arkham games, which are widely revered.
It looks a lot more standard than like what those Batman games were.
Well, it looks like, did you ever play the Avengers game?
It's just like third-person shooting, you know.
Yeah, did you ever play the Avengers game?
No, I never touched it.
It's the same thing. Like, you go into a place and you do the same basic mission over and over again, and looter shooter nonsense. But the Arkham games are just widely considered not good superhero games, but like great games.
Yeah, just,
like take Batman out of it, it's still a great
Arkham City
game.
is a wonderful video game.
Yeah,
crazy good video game.
Bummer that the studios are doing that.
Yeah, it's really sad.
Yeah,
Monolith is a piece of gaming history that's been closed down.
Yeah,
they made fantastic games. Fear is a landmark achievement in video games.
Yeah, I'm looking at the cover of Fear. That's not what I was thinking.
Yeah. F.E.A.R.
Yeah.
And I think you're thinking of Haze.
I was thinking of Gun.
Gun?
That's the cover.
The
I was
Western
about.
game?
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a good game.
Just the cover. I just saw it in stores. I never played it.
That was made by Neversoft.
Yeah.
It was weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it did a good job.
Yeah, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater. What are we going to do? Although I will say this. I have been playing Steam.
New Tony Hawk remake in March.
Which one?
They're remaking 3 and 4, it looks like. These are all rumors, but...
I wonder if Bam's going to be in it.
Why not?
He's been having issues. I don't know if he'll sell his rights.
I think they already have his rights for 3 and 4.
But then they would have to pay him.
I think they'll just pay him.
Well, maybe they would. I hope he's doing well. He's one of the people that pops up on Twitter every now and again. You're like,
it doesn't look like it.
Sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
It doesn't look like it.
Every now and again, he'll get tagged in something with, I follow Jimmy Pop on Twitter, the lead singer of the Bloodhound Gang. And they're still friends, apparently. And Jimmy Pop will pop up and be like, I'm at the Phillies game. If you find me, I'll buy you a beer.
That's what he says?
Yeah, Jimmy Pop
to
does.
Anybody?
Yeah. He's like, I'm at the Phillies game.
Oh, buddy.
Yeah.
No.
How many people, like, honestly, I'm a big Bloodhound Gang fan. And Jimmy Pop's not one of those people that I would run up to and be like, oh my God, it's Jimmy Pop. I'd be like, I think that's Jimmy Pop from the Bloodhound Gang. But I'm not 100% sure.
And I think that's enough. You know what I mean?
He's not famous enough to where...
Exactly.
It's not like if someone kind of looks like Brad Pitt, you can walk up to him and say, are you Brad Pitt? Because everyone knows who Brad Pitt is. They can be like, no, but I get that a lot. But if you walk up to a person and say, are you Jimmy Pop? They'd be like, who the fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
Unless they're Jimmy Pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, ouch.
I like the Bloodhound Gang. But on Steam, you've had me play a game on Steam over this week, and I was upset with the game selection on Steam. Speaking of video game gripes.
That's weird. There's so many games on Steam.
Not for me, because I have an Apple.
Oh, right. Yes, that's true. Yes.
Yeah, this is a section of the podcast now called Video Game Gripes. Not Game Grumps. These are game gripes that I have.
Yeah.
So, game gripe, big one. I was like, oh, I can play some old computer games that I used to play, like when I was a kid. Looked up the Star Wars game. TIE Fighter's on there. X-Wing's on there. Yeah. Rebel Assault 1 and 2 are on there. All available for Mac or PC or... What's the other low code? The Linux? Or whatever? Yeah. So I'm like, great. All available for Mac. Dark Forces, on there. Dark Forces, Jedi Knight 2, Jedi Outcast, and Jedi Academy, Jedi Knight 3, on there for Mac. Yeah. Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight, not available for Mac.
Yeah.
The rest of the series is available for Macintosh and PC, except for the one that I want to play.
You want to play that one out of all of those?
Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight is the best one.
Jedi Knight 2.
Jedi Outcast?
Jedi Outcast.
You're out of your fucking mind.
Is second only to Jedi Academy, which is the best one.
You're out of your fucking mind.
No.
It goes Dark Forces 2, Jedi Knight.
No.
Then original Dark Forces.
This is insane. You're insane.
I have Jedi Outcast on my Switch. I don't like that game at all.
I love that game.
It's too convoluted. The worlds get too open. It's not as linear of a level-based thing.
I love them.
The Adventures of Kyle Katarn are very important to me.
How dare they get rid of Kyle Katarn?
They haven't officially gotten rid of him yet.
Yes, they have. They said everything extended universe is not.
They still bring people in, like they brought in Grand Admiral Thrawn.
And they're like, "Hi, I'm Kyle Katarn. I'm a dog boy now, and I pee."
No, they brought in Thrawn, which was very close to how he was in the Heir to the Empire.
That's also them admitting that they're not doing well.
Yes. Oh, I mean, that's a big part
also
of it. Also
them being like, hey, we brought back Kyle Katarn.
I'm hoping
it's like, you're groveling to me.
Still holding out hope for Kyle Katarn and Dash Rendar. But
yeah,
we'll see if that happens.
If that happens, it's just like, look, old man, are you happy now with us?
Yes.
No, I'm not.
Yes, I am. Oh, Kathleen Kennedy she's stepping down as the head of Lucasfilm.
Oh.
The woman that the internet hates because apparently she's the reason that Star Wars isn't good.
It's because it's with Disney.
Yeah. But she's the person in charge of it now.
Oh, yeah. James Bond is with Prime now.
Oh, well, okay, so that's another thing. Yeah, so the Broccoli family, which you thought for a while was not a real group of people.
Owner of the broccoli fortune. Can you see that?
Barbara Broccoli. So Barbara Broccoli and one other dude whose name I forget.
Would you like some steamed broccoli? My father came up with the idea.
That's just when she's angry. She says, you're about to get a big heaping of steamed broccoli.
I have no idea what else you could do with broccoli.
If you say something mean to her, you can be like, you got roasted broccoli.
Yeah, stir-fried broccoli.
Are we done?
I don't know.
Are we done with this bit?
The last name's really stupid.
Yeah, it is. Regardless, so she had the rights to James Bond, and they sold them off, like Amazon or MGM had the cinema rights.
Yeah.
But the Broccoli's were able to say, shut it down. You're not allowed to do this with James Bond. And now Amazon just has full creative control over it.
Yeah.
Which I think can only go great.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
They only care about making good stuff now.
Right.
Because it's impossible for them to see something and be like, we can make 20 shows out of this.
Why
does it stop at 007? Why isn't there a 008, 009, 010?
There was a 009 in one of the movies.
Yes, I'm sure. There was 006.
That was Alex Trevelyan.
Yes.
Alec Trevelyan. Sorry, my bad.
Alex Trebek.
R.I.P. Sean Bean. In every movie he's in, not in real life.
Yeah, that's weird.
But no, they did the same thing with Lord of the Rings. I actually texted my dad this the other day. So when they got the rights to Lord of the Rings and they were going to make Rings of Power, they were like, we're going to make 5 seasons of this. We've got it all planned out. Don't y'all even worry. And they came out like last week and they're like, season 3 is going to skip ahead a number of years and focus on Sauron forging the One Ring. So like, okay, so now it's going to be 3 seasons and y'all are just speed running the end. So yeah, they know what they're doing creatively.
It's going to be.
They have some good shows.
Say what you will about James Bond is what I'll say. It's hit or miss as a series.
It's a mixed bag for sure.
But when one movie comes out, it's an event. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
It feels very, very calculated when it's happening.
It's something more people care about than would admit if you just say what's your favorite movie franchise. There are some people that'll say James Bond, and most people will have that in the back of their mind. But when the James Bond casting comes out, my mom knows about it.
Yeah.
Like when Daniel Craig got cast as James Bond, she'd be like, who's this guy that is the new James Bond?
I had a girlfriend, didn't watch movies.
Mm-hmm.
Her favorites were James Bond.
Which ones?
Because she loved the score. She loved the music every time.
Which movies were her favorite?
I don't know. Probably the Pierce Brosnan ones, because that's the ones that we talked about a lot.
It's good stuff.
That's always my James
Tomorrow
Bond.
Never Dies is a great Bond title theme. Overlooked. Sheryl Crow kills it. Regardless. What else were we talking about?
We were talking about James Bond.
No. We were doing something before.
Prime was gone.
Oh, yeah, but Prime does some good stuff. Like, Invincible's really good.
Creative people are going to make good stuff regardless.
Right.
And
The Boys is really good. And The Boys is completely different than source material. So that's good creative people that they're letting kind of do their thing.
Yeah.
But
I just don't trust it.
I don't know. You never watched Mr. and Mrs. Smith, did you?
And I hate
That was good.
That.
It was
you
really
have
good.
A big crush on Childish Gambino, though.
Okay. Well, it's Donald Glover. Childish Gambino is a character that he's retired, but
Yeah, I know all that.
You can respect.
I'm in love with him.
You can respect the artist if you want to.
That's what I was doing.
I support art.
Yeah, that's what you do.
I'm going to make you watch The fucking Brutalist. I swear to God. I'm going to make you appreciate art.
I want to see The Brutalist.
Speaking of The Brutalist, you want to?
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay, maybe. So the Oscar, we're recording this on Wednesday. And
I'd rather watch Nickel Boys more.
So this is what I want to talk about, because I want to go into the Oscar, or should we save this for the end when we do our recs?
I don't care.
Let's save it for the end.
Okay.
Well, how long have we been doing this?
I don't know.
Already? Enough. All right, so let's get into our recommendations since we're talking about games. Let's talk about your recommendation for me first.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Let's talk Wingspan?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah. Okay, so Wingspan is the thing Jake got me to play.
Yeah.
Jake, Take it over.
I felt like it was a time for a little bit of a change in what we recommend to each other.
It's not the first deck buildery thing you've had me do.
Well, this is the first time I got you to play a board game.
You did not get me to play a board game. You got me to play something on my computer.
It was a board game.
Twas at one point.
Yeah, an electronic board game.
But that's like saying you got me to farm by making me play Stardew Valley.
Really?
Yes.
That's a 1-to-1 comparison?
Yes.
No, you could
Nope.
recreate Wingspan on a table
Right.
with the board game. I can show you.
No, but
It's 1-to-1 of the board game.
playing this game
Stardew
in real
Valley?
life would be exhausting as much as clearing out my grandfather's old farm for me. I do not appreciate board games.
This is a different comparison.
No. It's starting
the other way.
It's starting my review. So, I mean, you can't spoil anything about board game. You pick different birds. You have different goals. It's kind of like one of those intricate. I say this with all love. It's a big nerd board game for board game nerds. It's a very specific type of nerd. There are board game nerds.
I've been playing board games a lot with my friends recently.
I can tell over by that table back on your house.
The board games I probably never would have touched, but some of them are very awesome.
Yes.
One of them I love is Dune Imperium.
Yeah, you were telling me about that. I don't know if that was on pod or off pod, but you were telling me about that.
I don't know either, but apparently they have a really good Steam game out for
I saw that on Steam. I thought it was the Dune survival game that's coming out now, but it's something else.
No, it's
So that's
the board game, Dune Imperium.
I might download that one.
And I had a great time with that, but that one was much more complicated than Wingspan is, which is a game that I also love.
That one's more complicated than Wingspan?
Dune Imperium?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fuck me.
There's a lot more stuff going on in that game than this game.
Okay.
But both of them I really enjoyed, and it's a lot more fun with the more people you have, especially in real life.
So Wingspan's kind of like a deck builder, and now they have spin-offs that's Wormspan, which is dragons.
Yep.
And then you said they're doing, what's the fish one called?
Finspan.
Finspan.
Coming out.
Basically, you draw a bird, and the bird has different abilities, and you have to play it in its right environment, and the birds are cute.
You get points. You get points for your birds. You get points. You lay eggs. You get points. You get certain objectives, hidden objectives for yourself.
You get points
round
for
objectives that
tucked
you have to worry
cards.
about. Yeah, and you just kind of build out. You just try and see what you can work for you.
And there's like 24 point rounds in a game? Like 24 turns, something like that?
I don't know.
It's like 8 and then 5,
8,
something like
7, 6, 5.
Yeah.
Something
So
like that.
whatever that math is.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Jake had me play it. I downloaded it on Steam. Played it on my computer. Little mouse clicking. And I'll say this. Had you recommended this as a sit-down, play-it board game, and you had made me play this, I would have given it a 1 and flipped the table over.
No, you wouldn't have. You would have played it with me and my friends, and we would have all said, don't do that.
I would have invited you. No, you're right. I wouldn't do that at your house. I would invite you all over to my house and say, let's play this again so that I could have you come in and then I could flip over my own table and say, we're not doing this. And then just go sit and play Ghost of Tsushima while you all figure out if you should leave or not.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of sit-down board games.
Yeah?
I don't. The more intricate ones, like it's just not my thing. I've played Catan a couple times, never really got into it. I have friends that are really into Catan, like that's what they do.
I like
they all hang
Catan,
out. And that's, I mean, that's kind of like
I like Wingspan a lot more than Catan.
I do too. I'll say that. I like that. I would say Wingspan right now, and I've only played. So I played right before I came here. I played against 2 AIs, and I beat the AI, so I'm getting better at it. When I played with you on Steam, I was still trying to figure out what the fuck.
Kick your ass.
Yes, you did, handedly. But then I was like, I didn't like it then. I was ready to just give it a 1 and not play it again. But I was like, no, let me play against the AI, and I did. Yeah. What helped with me is I could see playing against the AI. I did just 1 against a medium AI, and I hated that, and he beat me by like 2 points. Mm-hmm. But then I did a medium AI and an easy AI, so I could see the difference in what they were doing, like what the computer thinks is a good move and what the computer thinks is a better move. Yeah. So just kind of doing that, and then I beat those 2 guys. On the computer, I really enjoy it.
Nice.
Sitting down. It's a 3 on computer.
Sure.
There is so much busyness that's involved in this game of I'm going to put an egg on this bird.
Yes.
And if you haven't played this game, first of all, play it on computer. Unless you have a lot of time.
It's
if you
cheap.
like
like $15 on Steam, I think.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It's like $14.99. But I will say this. If you are a board game person, 1, I think you already know about this game.
Yeah.
2, I would think that board game peoples will love this game. But so like when you play a bird in a wetland And it's like, hey, this is a wetland bird. This is a pelican. How do I play my pelican? Well, you got to get 2 mice, and if it's up a further thing, then you have to give it an egg too.
Yeah.
Or no, 2 fish for a pelican.
Yeah.
Pelicans don't eat mice. What the? This is just silly.
They will.
I mean, they'll eat anything. I saw a pelican take a chicken finger out of a kid's hand on the Anna Maria Pier in Bradenton, Florida. And I was just like, I remember.
It's been the same.
No, because it was one of those things where I was like a kid, and I was like, it was close to the time that I realized that when you're eating chicken fingers, it's a chicken.
Yeah.
Like, and you make that connection in your kid brain, like I'm eating that thing that I know as an alive thing. And I knew chickens were birds, and then I saw a pelican eat a chicken finger, and I'm like, birds eat birds? Like, you can't. It was some weird cannibalism in my head.
We're allowed to eat monkeys.
No, you shouldn't. That's how you get kuru.
Kuru?
Kuru.
Kuru Reeves?
No, that's Keanu Reeves. Kuru's a brain parasite that they get for eating monkey brains, and what causes a lot of zombie myths.
Oh.
It's like mad cow. Like mad cow disease is like a thing that if you grind up cows and feed them to cows, they get mad cow and it fucks up your brain. If you eat monkey brains as a human, it could have the same like mad cow, but it's like mad human.
Wow.
Fucking A, man. Kuru's a real thing. Look it up.
No, I believe you.
You should. Regardless. Weird tangent from birds. So anyway, you play your pelican, and then it's like the pelican does this after every turn.
It has this many points. It has this power. Sometimes powers when activated.
And the powers,
is if you use that lane, it's used then. Sometimes it's when played. Sometimes it's played between rounds.
Right. But if I had like a pelican, a duck, and a heron all in my wetlands, and Jake had 3 other random... I'm running out of birds to just make up. So Jake had other birds in his lane.
A wren, a hawk, and a chicken.
There you go. And what was the one that I laughed at? It was called like a bush tit or something like that. Birds have funny names.
Yes, they do.
I couldn't find a blue-footed booby. If there was a booby, I was going to play it.
Probably in there, maybe.
I mean, it's a big deck of birds. There's probably a booby.
The oceanic
expansion. So I got to expand for the boobies?
Probably. That's how they get you.
But you have a puffin. You would think a puffin and a booby would be in the same deck.
I wouldn't.
Wouldn't it? Really?
I don't know where any of these birds are. The only time
They're
that I
both
remember
semi-aquatic birds.
The only time I remember seeing a booby on TV was Survivor Man when Les Stroud was on a desert island.
Eat a booby?
Yeah, he ate a booby.
A blue-footed booby?
Yeah, he killed it and ate it.
I wonder if this is going to get us demonetized for saying
Why?
booby so often.
No, that's
be a different
scientific term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Regardless.
That's what a doctor calls it.
No, because like puffins live on rock faces around the ocean.
You say titties, then you're in trouble.
Oh. Bush tit. That's probably not a good thing to say either.
The plural of bush tits. It's not bush tits, it's bush titties.
Stop. So regardless, the more birds that you have played, it's like, well, I played this row, so now I got to draw 2 cards for this bird, and then I have this falcon, and that gets you got to roll these dice, and if you roll a dice that has a mouse, you get that mouse, but then if you don't get the mouse, then someone gets to pick, and after every turn, this bird brings you a berry, and I can see that it's like...
I like thinking 2 or 3 steps ahead.
Right.
You know?
I like thinking that, too, now, when a computer does it all for you.
Yeah.
If I was sitting down and had to like go through that process,
that's why you also play with friends that are very meticulous.
Yes.
And they make sure that they're looking over and they're like, okay, you get this and you get this.
Yeah.
And that way I'm like, great.
Right. I like having a computer that does that while there's soothing music. And then when you play a new bird, it gives you a bird fact.
Yes. That's
all
a really
great way
stuff
for me to do it.
Yes.
And it's like, going back to old computer games that I used to play, my dad used to have Hasbro Risk where you could like click and, just be like Risk. And that's great to play. Playing board game Risk is fucking maddening because you're moving all your little pieces. It's like a little shitty Warhammer. Right, I see that you have it.
I got Metal Gear Solid Risk, baby.
That's dope.
Yeah, you know what makes it beautiful? It just came out Metal Gear Solid 4.
Okay.
So it has Metal Gear Arsenal with it, a movable continent.
Really?
Yeah.
Arsenal's from 2?
Yeah. Well, Arsenal is from 2, but it also comes back in 4.
Yeah, it pops up. Huh. Interesting. Regardless, I like playing that computer-based. It's smart that you told me to download it on Steam. It would have been a 1 IRL. But it's an online...
I just wanted to play with you, and I thought it would be a lot easier to do it on Steam.
You're smart.
Yeah.
Because I
was even trying to tell you, you can come over, we can play.
No. It would have been a hard one. Man. It would have been a hard one in real life. And I guarantee, even if I get better at the game, good enough on... I guess it's like when you play a lot of online poker, you don't have to deal with the people at the casino. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But if you get good enough at online poker, you're probably like, I'd go to a casino. play a couple hands. If I get good enough at this, maybe someday in the future,
Okay.
and I'll keep playing it online.
Okay.
Like it's
Sick.
fun.
I like.
Seems like
I've been playing video games,
logistical nightmare.
I've been playing board games with my friends. One of my favorite things is when I went to California, we went to a board game store. We bought a brand new board game. We set it up to play it. We started at like 4:00, and they weren't done reading the rules. Just two of them took the rule book and sat by themselves for like an hour and a half, pouring over it. And then we did something. And we're like, okay, can we move out of the house on this turn? And they're like, all right, let me break out the book.
And some people
That stuff is so funny.
Some people like that.
Some people love the rules, and like the game itself is fun, and some people like poring over the rules and like solving what this world is like and how to go through it.
Right. And I understand. I'm not that person in real
I'm
life.
not that person either.
I
But
like
I
it.
do like playing the game.
I like it in the game.
And how much my friends love just
Yeah.
going over the new rules that they got.
Yeah. That's not me.
I find it very admirable.
That's not me.
I'm very thankful that they have the patience and understanding to look at something like that and like.
One of the last big arguments
I'll
my
play it.
family had that was like a knockdown, drag out, like opinionated family argument was whether or not you're allowed to stack draw twos in Uno.
Yes,
No, you're not allowed to.
that's insane.
By Uno rules, you're not allowed to.
Uno rules
And then
also says house rules.
Right. I understand. And my sister
And in
said,
my house, it's +2, +2, +2.
right, that's what my sister said too. She said it's house rules. And I said, this isn't your house. And she said, I don't care.
Oh, she's wrong. I'm sorry. She's
granted,
right. She's always right.
When I said that, I did have like a draw 16 coming my way with two cards in my hand.
Guess what? The rules have changed.
So that's when I start to Google on ChatGPT if whether or not you're allowed to stack.
That's incredible.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah. Wingspan on Steam gets a 3.
Oh,
IRL it gets a probable 0.
3.
I don't know. I can't play it in real life.
You can.
I mean,
Probably will.
I haven't.
I'll probably get
I
you.
can't rate it in real life.
There
yet,
you go.
But on Steam, it's fun, and the Steam voice chat works well. So that's all good. All right, let's talk about my recommendation for Jake.
Sure.
2024 film, The Gorge.
The Gorge. Now, what made you want to watch this movie?
I have to tell you, you just watched this movie like an hour ago, right?
You don't know me.
Well, no, you told me that you just watched it like an hour ago.
Yeah, maybe I was lying to you.
Well, that's fair enough. So I was stoked for this movie when I saw the trailer.
Really?
Anya Taylor-Joy and Miles Teller, they're snipers on either side of a gorge, and they don't know what's in the gorge, and they can't find out what's in the gorge. They're not supposed to talk to each other. Then they start talking to each other, and then they get a little romantic fling going on, and then Miles Teller falls into the gorge. I will say this from now on. There's no way Jake and I can get into an honest discussion of this movie without spoiling the movie.
Oh, yeah?
So, and also, if you haven't seen The Gorge yet, you're probably not going to see The Gorge. Are you looking at reviews of The Gorge right now?
No, I'm just bringing up the information.
Oh, and Sigourney Weaver's there. So, if you don't want spoilers for The Gorge, skip ahead. But I really liked it. This is one of my favorite movies I've watched in like the last 6 months. The Gorge is so fun. It's such a fun movie that I will defend it to the ends of the earth. This is the kind of movie we need more of.
This is the kind of movie that
we need
comes
less
out constantly.
No, we need more of good ones of these.
And there's the...
As excited as I was...
They can only make them good.
Yes.
Hey,
Just make good ones.
The producer Taylor's got a note back from the movie. He says he wants it to be good.
Yeah, can you guys make it good?
Oh, man, I've just been making bad ones this whole time.
This is in the vein of other movies that I've recommended. Under Paris, Meg 2, The Trench, The Beekeeper. This kind of just straight down the middle action movie that I love. It's very good. There's a twist. The twist makes enough sense. And I thought the two leads were great. I thought the action was good. And it was just fun. Like, Apple just needs to keep making these movies, and they'll get my money. This and Wolf's, like, Apple is doing great. Severance is back.
Wolves is a better movie than this.
I don't necessarily disagree with you, but this is just fun. It's great, weird little sci-fi, a little bit of body horror, good action, So Jake gets a 3 from you?
It definitely gets a 2 from me.
It gets a 2.
Yeah. This is a very ho-hum type of movie.
So awesome. Because you like hoes and you like humming. So that's a 3.
I didn't hate it.
No.
That's for sure. And like you said, there's a really nice little twist inside of it. The way the
I didn't want to spoil the twist
out
for you when I recommended it because they say in the trailer, it guards the gate to hell.
Yeah.
And I'm like, guess what, guys? It's not the gates to hell.
Yeah.
Or it is.
But it
Could
was
be.
good because even in the beginning, the guy was like, because nobody knows what's going on.
Right.
It's all word of mouth on what's going on.
You get to the gorge and you're there for a year and you replace your guy.
And the first soldier that he talks to,
British
that
guy.
he's replacing, he says that I think we're at the gates of hell and we're guarding it.
Yeah.
And it's like, that's plausible because it's a movie, And I was running with that, and I was like,
well, he shows
this is kind of stupid.
When Miles Teller is talking to his
monsters.
replacement, he shoots a gun over the gorge, and you hear all these like noises coming up out of the gorge. He's like, "Those are the Hollow Men."
Yeah,
and it's like, "Oh, that's dope."
Like from T.S. Eliot,
right?
And then he's like, "I don't know what that is, but there's monsters down there. They're monsters."
Yeah, the guy was British. Okay. Why are you making him sound like Matthew McConaughey?
Because he was Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, he was.
And I think this movie took too long.
I think the build-up was too long.
So Anya Taylor-Joy's character, Drasa, right?
Russian sniper.
Lithuanian.
Well, she worked for Russia.
And she...
Well, the gorge has different sides, and they set it up so it's like, obviously, Miles Teller's American. He's replacing a British guy.
Yeah.
So they say that the gorge was set up after World War II.
Yeah.
And they always have one from what used to be Russia or the Eastern Bloc, the Soviet countries, guarding one side.
Yeah.
And they have someone from the East or the Western countries, a British guy, an American guy.
Yes.
Presumably, they would have a French guy at some point, or a Canadian, or an Australian, maybe even.
So, like, a lot of the questions that I had that was kind of pestering me, they kind of answered them pretty well.
Yes.
On why it's going on. I still don't know why they needed one from each side.
Well, because I think they had them set up on either side because they were on the same team, but they do say that Sigourney Weaver tells you that no president or no Russian premier has ever heard of this project. That's how off the books it is. And it makes sense because at the time they were in the Cold War.
Well, it makes sense because that's not true. They're just trying to keep it under wraps.
Right.
They were actually just bought by a company.
Right.
Who's researching something.
At some point the countries were working together,
yes.
But then at another point it's a big business is in charge now. So
and
it's
I guess
since
they have snipers' nests on both sides, they're like, let's just get a sniper on each side.
Yeah, you would rather at one point the government.
A lot of the stuff kind of explains itself, and they also explain what's going on.
And they don't tell you where the gorge is.
Yeah,
I think it's probably somewhere in
Alberta.
Yeah, I was thinking that, like Canada. It looked because
really
Miles Teller says like Northern Hemisphere. Well, I mean, if you're doing some shady shit, Canada's a good spot to do it. If you don't want the Russians to be involved, it wasn't like Scotland, so it's like up in the taiga, just based on the environment. Where you would see puffins and other birds like that.
Call back.
And it's not... my ornithology is really coming through. But yeah, I'm thinking it's up in Canada somewhere, if I had to guess.
I wouldn't know. But it also makes sense from a movie shot point of view.
That it was shot outside of Vancouver for cheap?
Yeah, that you shoot it for cheap. So back to Drasa.
Yeah.
The first scene that you see is her, and she's been in this little... hole in a cave waiting for this plane to arrive that she snipes the dude, and it's like, oh, that's cool. She's cold and calculating, and then it's you see her later and she's visiting her mom's grave with her dad there, and her dad is like, she's like, I'm gonna be going on to a mission, it'll probably be dark for a year, probably won't see you again. And he's like, and she's also like, I am haunted by the killings that I've been doing for sniping. And
this shit really fucks me up, by the way, Dad.
And then her dad is like, I'm going to kill myself on
Valentine's
Day while you're gone. So just know that.
He has like terminal cancer. Like, it's not just out of the blue, like, hey, I'm going to kill myself.
But then I'm thinking she's also remorseful, and she's sad, and she's got a lot to be sad about.
Yes.
And then it comes to her at the gorge, and she's playing Blitzkrieg Bop and dancing around and writing Miles Teller.
She goes full like Manic Pixie Dream Girl for a little bit.
Yeah. And it's like, I can't get a bead on anybody's character.
Did you notice what they did when they were flirting across the gorge?
Kissing?
Well, no, when they were across the gorge. She plays chess.
Yeah.
Like in Queen's Gambit.
And then they play drums.
like Whiplash.
I hated it so much.
No.
I hated it so much.
Miles Teller was on a talk show and he talked about this and they brought it up and it was like, apparently that was in the script before we got cast. And the director was like, should we take this out?
No, because I read from Robert C. Cargill, who was one of the producers.
Yeah.
They said we added it because we didn't know who was in the script.
Is Miles Teller telling tales?
One of these people are telling a tale.
One of them is
That's what I'm
telling
saying.
tales.
The one that I would say is telling the tale is Miles Teller
Probably.
because why would they just set up drums from across each other and just do that?
Well, they're playing Blitzkrieg
That was
Bop.
really weird.
It's a jam.
And chess right before it for the Queen's Gambit.
Yeah.
So da. No.
That'd be kind of weird if it like they set up the chessboard and they're doing because they have like big like Taylor Swift "You Belong with Me" note cards, like they're giving each other. You don't get that reference, but they're giving each other big notes across the gorge, and she would like sit down and play chess, and she'd be like Bishop to Rook 3, and I would just be on the other side of the gorge, being like, I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
You're really pretty over there though.
That's so.
I like Anya Taylor-Joy. I
love both of these people.
I liked Anya Taylor-Joy since The Menu.
I liked her since The Witch.
I never saw The Witch.
Really good movie.
Yeah,
amazing movie.
Looks scary.
Oh my god,
so scary.
Nosferatu was so good.
I saw that.
Robert Eggers is making some.
It's on.
Movies,
it's on Amazon for rental now.
Man, it's such a good movie. I love it. You're not gonna like it. I love it.
Well, it's sexy, scary Dracula, so probably not.
Yes.
No. Yeah.
It's awesome as hell, and Bill Skarsgård kills it.
Is he the Skarsgård?
Yes.
Okay.
Same Skarsgård.
He's the weird
right there.
Skarsgård.
This movie, for all my gripes for it, it kind of redeems itself like almost immediately all the time. Yes.
It's fun.
What I would say is if we saw it in theaters, it'd have hell of a lot more fun. You know? This is definitely a movie you should watch with people because it's just a fun movie.
Or you can watch it by yourself twice.
Better written than I expected, but nothing special that I saw.
When they go, I think the world building is fun. When they go down to the gorge, like Miles Teller falls into the gorge, and Anya Taylor-Joy, for no hesitation, jumps into the gorge right after him. Yeah. Like, this is my boyfriend that I've known for 4 months.
They just had sex.
Yeah.
And he was like, I'm going back. And he zip lines back. But explosives, because the Hollow Men are coming up on that side, blows the cable off.
Right.
And it's like,
so it goes down in the gorge, and immediately it's like this weird, creepy landscape. And like the colors are all askew.
The gorge looks great.
So it's based on, it says in the IMDb trivia, I'm going to butcher this dude's name, but there's this Polish artist named Zdzisław Beksinski.
Yes, I know who you're speaking of.
It's based on his paintings. Look at these paintings.
I've seen his paintings.
Yeah, that's
beautiful.
what it looks like.
Yeah.
It's fucking terrifying.
I like him.
So that was their art ethos for the gorge.
But I liked the color, and I like,
and
it was very cool. And
one
the
of the first things that
monsters
happens
look
is
cool.
a monster rides by on a monster horse.
Yeah,
so you're like, what the shit?
I wasn't like, what the
happening?
shit? I was like, oh, come on.
Oh, monster
I
horse?
was like, this looks like Dark Souls.
You're not, well, a little Dark Souls.
It looked like Dark Souls, dude. But then they were like, oh, I know exactly what this is.
Everything was kind of gross like an Elden Ring.
Yes.
Yeah.
But everything really explained itself. When I just thought it was going to be like a monster thing, but then they're like, no, there's a reason why he's on a horseback. And I was like, that's really nice of you to do that, movie.
Miles Teller's like, apparently the other guy said that in 1941 or 44 or whenever the gorge got gorged, whenever everyone became engorged, they, it's like, no, they sent in a regiment and it was like 2,500 guys and no one came out.
Yeah.
And then they're like, they kill one of the Hollow Men and it's like a weird tree man, like kind of like an Ent.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, he's wearing like a uniform, and Miles Teller's like, "Oh shit, this is
all World War II uniforms
from the regiment."
Yeah.
And so they came in on horses, and so it was a horse. It was a war horse.
Some stuff is hinted at and disproven. Some stuff is hinted at and elaborated upon.
Yeah,
and that's really cool storytelling.
So
I thought that was good, well done.
Spoilers for the Gorge. The big twist they find out is that the Gorge was a chemical weapons lab, where they were trying to find a way, something they could just drop on Nazis and make
super soldier serums.
Yeah, where like you get parts of the soldier that morphs with the environment. Yeah. And so there was a big leak, and so all the people that were near trees got turned into trees. If you were near spiders, you got turned into weird spider people. It was like, and like the weird spiders attack them in the church. That scene kind of reminded me of the good Hellboy that we just watched.
Those looked like
Skulltulas from Zelda.
Skulltulas.
Yeah.
I even wrote it down in my notes for the movie.
It's Skulltulas.
Good Skulltula cameo.
Yeah. And then like at one point there's one that's just like this huge amorphous blob that has like screaming faces in it that looks like something out of like the Haunted Woods in Mortal Kombat. There was just really cool art design in this movie.
Yeah,
like,
some stuff looked really cool, man.
And it was all a government thing, and now it's owned by Sigourney Weaver's company.
Yeah.
And you find out like right after the one guy evacs from the gorge, and it's just Miles Teller's back there. You know from the jump that something's going wrong because they show that guy getting picked up by the helicopter. Like, confirm your name. He gives his name, and it's like, all right. And then they just shoot him in the head, and they leave him there. It's like, oh, people don't leave this gorge and like go back to normal life.
Yeah.
So you know from right then something bad's gonna happen.
But they act like such children.
But then they're
both Miles and Anya both act like weird children for the first hour of the movie.
See, I always took that as
playful, but they're just being playful, silly little, it's my birthday, so celebrate. They're doing cool little sniper shots back and forth. And they're like, how many people have you killed? 186. And it's like, at some point you grew up, buddy.
Yeah. Well, no, I think that was
she
more along the lines
She hung his clothes further out, so he had to cover up and run over there. It's like, they literally took a good 2 minutes to be like, this place is cloaked. Nobody can see you other than her. And then I would have been like striding on over there. But that's fine. It's fine. I'm just saying there's a lot of cuteness in this, quote unquote.
As they were being weird because they had been literally by themselves for 3 months at that point.
I was hoping for a little bit more leaning into that. It never really felt like it was a connection based on desperation.
Yeah.
It felt like Anya Taylor-Joy was just like, you up type of
it would have been a very different story, I think, if it wasn't Anya Taylor-Joy across, like if it was just some big Russian dude and you're just... Okay, then you never go in the gorge.
Clint Howard over there, it'd be like, it's my birthday and I want to party if I want to. You'd be like, okay.
Okay. Have fun over there.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep... And then Miles Teller would be dead. But then, so there's a contingency plan that's like, if something goes wrong, there's this nuclear bomb down here, and it's going to blow up the gorge.
Fantastic.
And
Stray dog.
Yeah, the stray dog contingency. And Miles Teller gets told this. It's like, if the stray dog goes off, you run. It's like, you got to get like 4.2 clicks away. And so stray dog goes off. Sigourney Weaver like shows up after they find out that they've been fucking each other, and Sigourney Weaver's like, I'm the head of this multinational cabal.
Yeah,
that's going to take care of everything.
I'm the CEO. I will be there personally. This horrible place that we make our pilots drop people off 22 kilometers, which is some amount of miles. I'm going to say 16. 3.2 miles is 5K is 3.2 miles.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
Okay, so I'm close. Or not. I don't
work
care.
The math from there.
Regardless, it's like 10 miles at least that they have to drop you away, and you have to walk the rest of the way to the gorge. Mm-hmm. But the CEO of this company that's behind it all, probably a billionaire, I would assume. If you've got gorge money, you're at least worth a billy.
Yeah.
She's going to go there personally and take care of it. That's so dumb.
Yeah.
And she gets blown up,
That's
which
the
is
least believable thing in this entire movie.
Yeah.
Is that a CEO is like, I'm going to handle this personally.
Right. I'm going to get my hands dirty.
Yeah. They're going like, what type of Chinese lady can I poop on?
If Zuckerberg had a gorge, he's not going down there to make sure the gorge is intact.
Zuckerberg has a gorge. He forgot about it already.
Oh, that's right. He doesn't have like a whole island in Hawaii?
He's got a bunker in Hawaii that he's building.
So he's got bunker money.
What a good guy.
I mean, I'm sure they're all normal people.
They have to be normal.
Anyone that wears a chain that skinny is a good person.
That amount of sunscreen on your face when you're on a surfboard, it's fantastic.
Well, that's just common sense at that point. It's borderline offensive amount of sunscreen. But yeah, I think this movie's fun. I think it is
fun.
It gave me vibes of The Meg. It gave me vibes of Beekeeper.
Fantastic.
Which I love.
Leans into its absurdity a lot better. The Beekeeper leans into its absurdity a lot better.
I'll give you that. I thought this was kind of... so my favorite...
This one, it felt like there was no character in these characters, and the only reason that they were interesting was because Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy
very charismatic,
are both hot and charismatic people.
They are.
So it's really fun to listen to them talk because I'm like, you guys are very hot and charismatic.
Miles Teller is in one of my favorite movies of this century, which is Whiplash.
Whiplash.
Yeah. Did I send you that thing about the guy that did Whiplash?
No, I don't think so.
What's his name? Chazelle?
I don't know.
I want to say.
What about it?
Damien Chazelle. He's starting production on a Evel Knievel biopic.
Oh, yes, you did send me that.
With Leonardo DiCaprio playing Evel Knievel.
Yeah.
I'm definitely on board for that.
Sure.
Yeah.
I liked Evel Knievel. I watched him jump Grand Canyon.
Real life?
No, not in real life.
Oh, because I was gonna say I thought that was like the 70s.
Oh, yeah, I watched a
Yeah.
video of the TV
That's pretty cool.
of it.
But yeah, I really like the movie. This is so my favorite type of movie. I was gonna say my favorite fiction book probably ever is Sphere by Michael Crichton, and I love the movie Sphere. Like, it's just this kind of movie where it's like, there's a mystery. We find out what the mystery is. Now we're going to try not to die and get away from the mystery. That's this. This is Sphere. It's Congo. It's like all of Michael Crichton's stuff that I'm just like, good. This is just a fun thing.
Yeah, it's
and
a
the
fun
production
story.
design
Yeah.
inside the gorge was so fucking cool. Like, I had saw, like when they drop down and you see the flower monster men, and then they go into that church, and it's like all the people had like, first of all, they're like, how are all these people dead? And Miles Teller sticks his finger in a powder and then smells it. He's like, it's cyanide. And I'm like, I don't know if you could be that close to cyanide and just,
Yeah, you can.
I don't know.
There has to be an amount of cyanide that kills you, not just some.
Isn't there like some amount of cyanide in like cherries or something?
I don't know.
Maybe that's an urban legend.
If you do just a little bit,
You
you're
build
gonna
up an
be
immunity
fine.
to it? Like
You probably build up an immunity.
like iocane powder, and you're the Dread Pirate Roberts?
You could be the type of guy that's like cyanide at a party, and then you just take some. And they're like, "Oh my god!" And you're like, "I'm fine. I built up an immunity." You could be like that guy.
What party are you going to that has cyanide?
Oh, I brought it myself.
Oh, so you're that guy.
That's my party trick.
That's worse than bringing like an acoustic guitar.
No, remember that guy that used to jump at his skyscraper window to show how strong those windows are?
Yeah.
And then one time he just did it, and it broke, and he fell to his death. You remember that?
There's a guy that built a flying machine, or no, like a parachute suit, and he jumped off the Eiffel Tower.
Oh man,
And he's like, "Yeah, look how safe this is," and he jumps off the Eiffel Tower. And he did. There's a whole
hubris.
There's a whole Wikipedia page. We could go with this to another time. The Gorge is great. Everyone should watch The Gorge. We're going on tangents now. There's
The
a
Gorge
whole
is fine. You should watch The Gorge if you got friends over.
yeah. If you got time, watch The Gorge. There's a whole Wikipedia page that's inventors killed by their own invention. It's like my favorite Wikipedia rabbit hole. It has that guy. It has the dude that invented the Segway and then rolled off a cliff on his Segway.
I think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Because it was like I'm introducing a new braking system.
Yeah.
And then it didn't break. Boy, howdy.
Yeah, it's a list of inventors killed by their own invention.
Wow.
Sylvester Roper, inventor of the Roper steam velocipede, died of a heart attack and subsequent crash during a public speed trial.
Oh, he died of a heart. Pardon me. He died of a heart attack.
Subsequent crash. So he invented a steam velocipede, which is a steam-powered motorcycle, essentially. And he showed people how fast it could go, and it went so fast it caused him to have a heart attack, and he died. That was in 1896. Oh, shit. Good for that guy.
Sad.
Francis Edgar Stanley, who was driving the Stanley Steamer automobile. He invented the steam-powered automobile, drove it into a woodpile, attempting to farm wagons traveling side by side to the road. It's a fun list. All right. So watch The Gorge. Speaking of fun list, let's talk about what we're going to be. No, let's do the Oscar thing first, because that's I've got something for my recommendation on this. So the Oscars are on the cat's back. The Oscars are on Sunday. We only watched one movie. Well, I've seen 3 out of the 10 for Best Pictures.
Really?
The nominations for Best Picture are Anora, The Brutalist, Complete Unknown, Conclave, Dune Part 2, Amelia Perez, I'm Still Here, Nickel Boys, The Substance, and Wicked. I think you've seen the ones I've seen, plus you've seen The Substance.
Yes, I love The Substance.
Yeah. So there was a lot of stuff about the Amelia Perez thing because the lead in that movie had some horrible old tweets.
Yeah.
And then got kind of uninvited to the Oscars.
Yeah.
But
and the
they say
movie
there's
itself is apparently pretty
not great.
damning about Mexican culture.
Yes. And also
to the point that Mexico, trans woman in Mexico made a parody video about being...
Did they really?
Yes.
I gotta check
it's
that out.
almost something that I was about to recommend to you.
Is that on YouTube?
I am waiting for it to have a translation.
Oh, gotcha.
I've listened to the first song in it. It's very funny. It's there's Bienvenido a la France, but they're in Mexico. Clearly, they all have big, long, curly mustaches, and they have rats on them and around them because they're all being ratatouilleed.
That's funny.
It's so funny so far.
It's a
I
good
just
bit.
don't understand it, and I can't wait for a translation.
That's a good bit. There's also there's 2 2 films that are nominated for Best International Film, Amelia Perez and Flow. Did you watch Flow?
No,
Someone
not
told me
yet.
to
I
watch
have
Flow.
it.
I think it was my brother-in-law told me to watch Flow.
It's probably gonna make me say.
So Flow's an animated feature nominated for Best Animated Feature. Flow, Inside Out 2, Memoir of a Snail, Wallace and Gromit, and the Wild Robot.
I want to see that.
Inside Out 2 was great. That's the only one I've seen. But I don't like how I don't mean to come off as too America firsty, but I don't think you should be able to be nominated for both Best Picture and Best International.
Sure, you can. You're an international picture that's also a Best Picture.
Okay, well then you should have Best Picture, Best International, and also Best American.
Why?
I don't know.
Because this is an American institution.
I have this weird ingrained nationalism that every American does deep down inside, and you keep it hidden, and then you're watching.
I'm not an American?
Yeah, and then you keep it hidden, and then it pops up where you're like, oh, we're playing hockey, and you're like, I'm going to murder everyone from Finland for no reason other than the fact that I've got some kind of weird nationalism.
Go Canada.
No, they won.
Congratulations, Canada.
Congratulations, Shorzy.
I'll watch it eventually.
I will talk all about it. I've watched the first 2 episodes of season 4.
I look forward to it.
It's fantastic as always. So, if I was looking at the betting apps, their odds for Best Picture.
Yeah.
Odds on favorite is Anora.
Yeah, sure.
It's like minus 230 right now.
I don't know what that means.
Basically, if you bet
$1,
no one bets $1.
If I bet $1,
If you bet $100,
yeah,
you would win 70 in profit.
Oh,
Right.
That's what minus 230 means.
Because it's more than likely to happen. It's better than a 50-50 shot that will happen.
Oh.
Yeah.
I don't know. Gambling's so confusing.
Yeah,
but they have to make it confusing to justify why people are so addicted to it.
Right.
Yeah.
So, if I had to pick, first of all, I think Dune 2 is a masterpiece.
I love Dune 2.
I would like to see Dune 2 win. It won't. I thought Wicked was good.
Dune 2 is nothing without Dune 1.
I think toss-up for Best Leading Actress in a Supporting Role. I don't know anything about I'm Still Here, so I can't say anything
I
about
hear great things about that movie.
Fernanda Torres, but I think it's either going to go to Cynthia Erivo. She's nominated. Mikey Madison has a good job, or they're going to give it to Demi Moore as like a legacy. You've been an actress for a long time.
Sure.
So
but
now
also Demi Moore was fantastic in The Substance.
Well, they do that when it's like you've been an actress or an actor and actress for a long time, and
Revenant.
this is what you did. Like, this is fucking great.
You got Best Actor in The Revenant.
Right.
Even though you weren't even the best actor in The Revenant.
Not like The Bear was. Not to belittle her performance or anything, but I think
Tom Hardy was.
He was good in that movie. Actor in a leading role, I think it's going to go probably to Adrian Brody for The Brutalist.
We haven't seen The Brutalist.
So that's what I want to talk to you about. So for your recommendation, I want to pick one of these 3 movies, and we'll talk about that.
Okay.
Because they're all available now. So the 3 that I'm interested in are The Brutalist, A Complete Unknown, and Conclave. I'm going to see one of those movies
Out of
this
all
week.
those 3, I'm more interested in The Brutalist and then The Conclave.
A Complete Unknown's your least interested in one?
That's the Bob Dylan story.
Yeah,
right?
Timmy Shams doing Bob Dylan.
That's the most uninteresting thing I've ever heard.
It's apparently great.
I'm sure.
What's her name that's playing?
It's like I almost got no direction home.
Is that your Dylan?
And then everybody goes, Bob, what did you just say? And he's like, something about a complete unknown. And they're like, Bob, what's happening? And then it cuts to him playing on stage.
So you have seen the movie.
I have seen the movie. It's actually fantastic. I'm not interested in those type of biopics.
So Conclave, I've heard, was very good as well,
Yes.
and that seems like a little more.
That's the one that NL was talking about.
It's
that
a
I was
new-
talking about before.
it's
said
the new
he saw
Pope.
Conclave and Honora, and he said his best picture choice is Conclave.
Yeah,
And he's like, and I loved Honora,
right.
but Conclave, he's like, it's just a better movie.
And these are movies I haven't seen. So
Honora's great. You saw Honora.
No. I'm talking about. So we're down to
These
Conclave
3?
and The Brutalist.
Yeah.
You already nixed. Bob
Yeah, I don't
Dylan.
want to watch that one.
Yeah. Plus, Timmy Shams was in Dune too. That should win Best Picture.
Well, I
That's
have
like
to ask you, how does it feel? I'm like, what, Bob? What was that?
I'm just thinking of the Tim Robinson sketch where it's also the skeletons came to life. The bones are their body.
Man. It'd be
all I
better if
think
it was
about.
funny. Yeah. You can't do a biopic after Walk Hard.
No, you can't do one after. You really can't do it after the Weird Al story, because that was almost.
I haven't seen that yet.
You haven't seen that yet?
No.
God, it's fucking good.
I'm sure it's good.
Rainn
I hear
Wilson
really
plays
good things.
Doctor. Maybe we just watch that. I'll save it for a later time. But yeah, that's really good.
I'm interested in that movie. That's for sure.
All right, so let's do Conclave. I'm going to give you Conclave. I want to watch Conclave. We'll talk about Conclave, and I think there's a shot Conclave wins, because I think
Right now, my choice is Substance. I think a movie like that deserves a Best Picture, because a movie like that never gets nominated for something like that.
yeah.
This movie is as close to Troma ever getting a Best Picture nominee ever.
Nomination for Best Actor, Ralph Fiennes is nominated for Conclave, so we can see if he is deserving of that. Do you
I
wanna-
love that Constant Gardner.
He's just always gardening.
Yeah.
Just
Did I tell you my story about Constant Gardner?
No.
When I was a kid, when it came out,
Mm-hmm.
I was staying with my grandparents, and they're like, let's go to the video store so you can rent a movie. And I got The Constant Gardener because it's Ralph Fiennes on the cover with a gun. And I was
Yeah.
like, this has got to be an action movie, and I want to watch an action movie. And I sit down, and that dude is just constantly gardening in that movie.
Oh, just all over the place?
Yeah.
Where does the gun come into play?
Well, he holds up somebody at some point.
Oh.
It's a really good movie.
And then he's right back to gardening.
It's honestly a fantastic movie.
Huh.
But I was like, this isn't an action movie at all.
I'm going to call my shot right now. I'm going to say Brutalist wins Best Picture. I think
What are you just basing it off of vibes?
the fact that I don't gamble anymore, but I still like to call my shots. If I was making my big parlay, it'd be Brutalist for Best Director. I think Sean Baker gets Best Original Screenplay for Anora. I think that I'm going to say Demi Moore takes it for Best Leading Actress.
Yeah.
This is all based on things I haven't seen. I think they give it to Adrian Brody for Best Actor in a Leading Role. And I'm going to call...
It's unbelievable that you went with nothing from the movies that you've seen.
Best Actor in a Supporting Role, Kieran Culkin. Kieran Culkin takes it down for A Real Pain.
Yeah, I could see that. Because
Actress in a Supporting Role is going to go to Zoe Saldana from Amelia Perez, because they have to give Amelia Perez something.
No.
So they're going to give it that.
Why do they have to give Amelia Perez anything?
Because they spread it out like this now. It's not just one movie just fucking taking it all down. Best Original Screenplay is going to go to Sean Barker, although Jesse Eisenberg should win.
Disagree.
You don't like Real Pain for Best Original?
I love it, but it's not as... The story itself isn't as engaging as Anora.
I haven't heard of any of these documentaries, and I really like documentaries. Have you heard of any of these? Black Box Diaries, No Other Land, Porcelain War, Soundtrack to a Coup d'etat, or Sugarcane?
No Land.
No Other Land?
No Other Land is a story about Gaza.
Oh, is it really?
Uh-huh.
Ooh,
Yeah.
rough.
Yeah. I watched that.
Yeah, I haven't heard of any of these other things. Wicked gets Best Original Score? Excuse me?
What do you mean? They haven't voted yet.
It's nominated for Best Original Score,
I mean, it's a musical.
but
Yeah.
the movie's not an original score.
Isn't all you have to do add one song?
That's if you do... maybe it is. No, because they have Best Original Song as well. Which none of the Bob Dylan songs are.
This
That's
wasn't like Cats up for Best Original Score?
they added a song.
Yeah, and didn't
Yeah.
Wicked add a song?
It's not nominated for anything.
I thought they added a song.
Regardless.
Regardless.
Best sound's going to go to Dune 2. There was one year when we worked at that bar and we were watching the Oscars and Hurt Locker won everything.
Yeah.
And I was just screaming out Oscar picks from one side of the bar, and I was getting too many of them right.
Yeah.
That it upset people that I kept yelling Hurt Locker. And I never saw Hurt Locker. But I'm good at picking these.
I like that movie.
All right. So you're going to watch Conclave. I'm going to watch Conclave too.
Yeah.
And we'll discuss it and we'll see if it wins an
Good
Oscar.
idea. There you go.
Yeah.
We'll
What-
both watch it.
So what are you going to recommend for me?
I didn't want to do an Oscar pick for you.
That's fine. I'm doing one.
I've been doing a lot of one podcast that is slowly becoming one of the best podcasts.
Our
Something
podcast?
that I listen to all the time. Better than our podcast.
I don't know if that's true.
It's called The Doughboys with Nick Weiger and Mike Mitchell.
Is that one of the ones that was in our top things?
What do you mean? Maybe. I don't know. I
No,
don't
it was,
remember.
it was Blind Boy.
Yeah. Oh, no. I love Blind Boy.
I
still
know,
listen
but we've
to
already done Blind Boy. No, I think the Doughboys was in our top people listen to us and also
I could see
Doughboys.
it, honestly, because the more I listen to Mitch talk, the more I love him. Mitch is the guy who played, he was in Twisted Metal. He was the bigger guy that was taken in by Sweet Tooth. Remember?
Vaguely.
That's Mike Mitchell. Yeah, the other story, Sweet Tooth story.
Yeah.
And he has a hostage.
Oh, yeah.
That
Okay, yeah.
is
Sorry,
Mike
I had to
Mitchell.
think back.
He's already got great stories where he's like, I wasn't allowed to meet Nev Campbell. When they're like, you specifically, Mitch? He's like, yeah, they came out. They're like, you need to stay over there. But
Oh, yeah. I know this guy.
both of them are very funny people.
This guy's been in a bunch of shit.
They review fast food chains. The one that I would suggest is with Jason Mantzoukas called the Zuka.
I'm on board for that.
Yeah, I thought you would like the Zooks episode.
Okay.
So I think it's called Zuka Chicken. Something
Doughboys
like that.
podcast. I'll find it.
Yeah. But also just listen to them because, man, they're just some really sweet people.
Okay. So I'll check
really
out
dig them.
the Doughboy podcast. Jake and I are both going to watch
They
Conclave.
had a fight before one podcast at some point, and they talked about it for like 3 or 4 podcasts. It keeps coming up. They're like, we had a fight. Everything's fine now. But it just keeps, it kept coming up. And I was like, I love these guys.
Awesome. All right. So I'm going to check out Doughboys. Jake's going to check out Conclave. We'll talk about that, and we'll see how right I am about the Oscars. Probably mostly.
Just vibes. It's just hard to tell you.
All right. Well, we'll figure it out. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. Thank you to our buddies, Brother Bill, for letting us use their music for a theme song. If you have anything to add to the podcast, just send us an email, upyouralleypod@gmail.com. Follow us on Instagram. Like, subscribe. Should have said all this at the beginning, but I didn't. Thank you all for listening. Jake, thanks for having me over. Love you, buddy.
Love you, buddy.
Bye.